I once gave my mom a CD, and she told me all the songs sounded the same. I then found that her CD player was on track repeat. What are your parents' technology fails? Parents can be so funny with technology. I also had to explain to my mom the concept of throwing away a computer file. What are some of your parents' tech fails? Reddit. I tried to get my grandmother to play Wii Sports to get her doing at least a little activity. Okay, now move your hands to play, Grandma. Move my what? What button do I press? No button, just move your hands around. What button is my hands? You don't need to press any button. Just move your hands like you're playing tennis. I don't understand your wee-wee. My mom wanted to join me and my cousins in a game of bowling on Xbox Connect. She kept asking similar questions. What button do I push? Where's the remote? She didn't believe the Kinect could see her movements. We finally convinced her that she just had to pretend like she was really bowling. She then proceeds to get 9 strikes in a row, totally smashing our high score we'd been working on for months. What the duck? My father has been writing emails to me in all caps ever since he began writing emails. He says they are more clearer that way. TLDR, my dad has been screaming at me through the internet for years. I hate when people yell at me in all caps. I can hear myself screaming in my head, and if they begin to form a run-on sentence I literally run out of breath, because I forget to breathe while I'm currently screaming in my head. Are you out of breath yet? God damn you, that actually worked on me. I need a drink. When I went away to college in 2000, I tried to teach my mom how to use email and AOL Instant Messenger to keep in touch. I would often get emails that just said, "Hi," and instant messages that had a whole email typed out. She always seemed confused by the whole thing. Fast forward to my second semester. My dorm had particularly shitty food, so we would all get excited on days they had food we liked. Before dinner one evening, I set my away message to be something like, "Yay, grilled cheese and tomato soup night." After dinner I went to work on homework with some friends. When we all got back to my dorm room to hang out, I noticed that I had a bajillion instant messages from my mom. The convo went something like this. "Mom, hey, how are you?" Auto response, "Yay, grilled cheese and tomato soup night." "Mom, that's nice honey. What are you up to this weekend?" "Mom, you there?" "Mom, where'd you go?" Auto response, "Yay, grilled cheese and tomato soup night." "Mom, I know that. Why are you telling me that? What's going on? Why aren't you answering me?" Auto response, "Yay, grilled cheese and tomato soup night." "Mom, what the hell is going on up there? Are you on drugs? Answer me." Auto response, "Yay, grilled cheese and tomato soup night." "Mom, that's it. I'm driving up there right now." Oh my god, it was so funny. I called her cell. She was crying and screaming at me, and on her way up to campus, about 1.5 hours away. At this point I am absolutely cracking up, as are my friends in the background. My mom keeps saying, "I knew it. You're all high. I can hear you and your stoner friends laughing." I finally get a hold of my stepdad, who luckily thought this was hilarious, and he convinced her that everything was fine and to come home. I printed out the convo and had it up on my door for the rest of the year. Oh man, it was hilarious how much she flipped out over that away message. Hee hee. My dad thinks every virus we get on our computer is from you kids playing your games. So many parents are convinced that video games are riddled with viruses. My mom is into online poker, so she used to download every free online poker software she saw, and then get mad at me for infecting the computer with Roller Coaster Tycoon. Sigh. I get annoyed with my mom every single time. She won't just let me do it, she insists I show her. It usually goes something like this. Double click your web browser. Double click. It's not opening because you didn't double click. Okay, type it in the address bar. The thing at the top. No, don't use Bing to search for it, just type it in. Now sign in. No, you have to sign in first. You don't have to read everything, it's just spam. I don't know who sent it. Click delete at the top. It's at the top. Sweet Jesus. My mom once bought my dad a smartphone. He turned it off by accident and didn't know how to turn it back on. He then threw a huge fit and yelled at my mom, telling him that the stupid thing broke on him already. My mom then scolded my dad repeatedly for breaking it within the first day of getting it. During their argument, I walked over, held down the power button, and turned it on. They traded it in within the next week. One time my mom got me Mario Sunshine for my birthday. I told her that it wouldn't work on our Nintendo 64. The conversation went like this. This isn't compatible with any of our game systems. We need a GameCube. Mom, I told the guy at the store that we have a Nintendo 64 and that we have a Mac. He said it would play. He was wrong. This tiny disc won't even fit in the Nintendo 64. Mom, our Mac has a disc reader. Mom, this is too small and the Nintendo 64 takes cartridges. Mom, okay, show me it won't play in the Nintendo 64. She followed me down to the family room so I could show her that the disc would not work in our Nintendo 64. I opened up the bottom half of the entertainment unit and there was a brand new GameCube. Well played, Mom. Well played. My mom can get on the internet for hours at a time, but when she's done, she backs out of it, clicks to go back one page, over and over, until she's back at her Yahoo Mail start page. I've told her she doesn't have to do that, but she insists on it. She's rewinding the internet. Mom, here's the Google Street View of the apartment I'll be staying in. Oh, that's lovely. And my goodness, it sure is sunny there today. To be fair, even young people think that Street View is real time. If they're not a potato, they don't. To be fair, many young people are potatoes. It took weeks to explain to my parents that if you used Facebook, MSN, or any other form of online communication, the entire internet could not see what you were writing. That you were semi-privately contacting your friends, who you had consciously added, not shouting into the void. A random file could not just drop in on your conversation. My mom to this day thinks that the favorites list on her browser, Internet Explorer 2, is everyone's favorites list. Every couple of weeks we have a conversation along the lines of, I saw this really interesting website, so I put it on favorites, you should look at it. And I have to explain that I am not on her computer, and as such have no way of knowing what she's talking about. Edit, guys, calm down. Yes, this can be solved, but I only just taught her the concept of copy pasting links. Now not only can she just email me these random sites, but it means she stopped writing URLs from the screen on post-it notes in order to type them back into the Google. My parents were on a road trip going from Texas to Canada listening to an audiobook on a CD. After about 14 hours, my mom got embarrassed and confessed to my dad that she had no idea what was going on in the book, since some characters had seemingly come back from the dead without explanation. My dad, also embarrassed, had been unwilling to admit he had no idea what was going on either. They arrived at the hotel and went to sleep. The next day, they discovered the CD player was on shuffle, and had been listening to the chapters out of order. I helped my mom purchase a new computer monitor. I suggested she give her old one to Goodwill. She said, "Oh, I don't know, what if some identity thief gets a hold of it?" I tried to explain that her monitor doesn't store any data. I think she is still dubious. The old monitor still sits in her computer room. Not really a fail, but my mother always double clicks links. That freaks me out. You only need to click one time. My dad recently signed on Facebook and is adding people who have the same name as him. For a long time after I introduced my father to Gmail, he thought that I had invented it because my name starts with G. Similarly, my dad thought he was the only person who knew about Google until a couple years ago. I would ask him a question if I couldn't figure out the answer by using Google. His responses always started with, "I don't know, but I'll tell you what to do. Go to google.com and type in. It will bring it right up for you. It's like magic." He always said this in a quiet voice like it is some super secret thing that only family could know about. My mom was pissed off at my brother and I, so she took our Xbox. Fortunately for us, she took the subwoofer instead. My mother searches Google on Bing to get to Google's homepage so she can search for something. Mine thinks the Google is the whole internet. As in, go to the Google and type www.whateveryouwere-looking-for.com. She is actually afraid of the address bar. Mine too. I was once on the phone trying to help my mom look up something she wanted to buy online, and she was having trouble. I asked her, "Mom, which browser are you using? Internet Explorer or Firefox?" She replied, "Browser? I'm not on a browser, I'm on the Google." It's frustrating, hilarious, and adorable all at once. My mother only uses the computer 10 minutes at a time, because she thinks if it is on any longer it will catch a virus/overheat. When my parents bought their first computer, the buy at Best Buy or wherever told them that if you turn the computer off without shutting it down, it takes 7 years off the life of the computer. This was the late 90s, and they always bought POS computers, bottom of the line HPs, usually, so if the computer froze for whatever reason, my stepdad would insist on just leaving it alone for days at a time, figuring it would fix itself. I'd eventually turn it off and on, and end up getting a beating for it, but what's the use in having a computer no one can use? Yeah. Duck that store clerk. I was downloading porn in the 56K days on the family computer. Dad comes in and says he needed to check something really quick. I can't very well say not right now, I'm downloading something, so I just let him use it, hoping he'll finish before the porn does. He doesn't. One of the movies was set to open automatically when the download was complete, and it started playing. He yelled at me, "Get in here, quick." I run into the computer room and see Kobite getting railed, and my dad has this shocked look on his face. In an attempt to cover my own ass, I go, "What did you do?" And all he could do was stutter was nothing. I say, "You must have clicked one of those pop-ups, it's best to just avoid them." I close out the porn and he makes me promise not to tell my mom. I agreed.